and welcome back to another Deep Dive. We're diving deep into all the latest tech news with TechViews 10X. Buckle up because we've got everything from gaming rumors and AI leaps to a whole cybersecurity roller coaster. So make sure you hit subscribe, smash that like button, and share this deep dive with all your tech-obsessed friends. You seriously won't want to miss this. All right, so let's jump right in.
It's pretty wild how much the tech world can change in just a week. We're seeing some major trends and some surprises that make you go, hold on, is that really happening already?
I know, right? Like trifold phones, ink car dashboards, and a Raspberry Pi with 16 gigs of RAM. What year is it? But okay, first up, let's hit the gaming news because, well, there's a ton of it as always. We've got some juicy rumors swirling around the Nintendo Switch 2 leaks accessory listings mysteriously popping up on GameStop, the whole 9 yards. And analysts are predicting a mind-blowing 4.3 million units sold in the U.S. alone in its first year. It makes you wonder, can Nintendo even keep up with that kind of demand?
It will definitely be a logistical challenge for sure. But let's not forget about the games themselves. The success of any console hinges on, the quality and appeal of the games.
True. Speaking of games, Assassin's Creed Shadows just got delayed again, almost 5 weeks. I know delays can be super frustrating, but honestly, remember Cyberpunk 2077's launch. Maybe it's for the best.
Yeah, I think a lot of gamers would agree with that. You know what they say? A delayed game is eventually good, but a bad game is bad forever. And speaking of Cyberpunk, did you see it running on the Nvidia RTX 5080? Over 120 FPS at 4K resolution with full path tracing, DLSS 4, and frame generation. The visuals are seriously next level.
It's like watching a movie. But it does make you think, though, could this level of performance actually become a problem for game developers?
That's a really interesting point. I mean, if developers start banking on crazy powerful hardware just to achieve those stunning visuals, are they going to start cutting corners on optimization, for people who don't have those top-of-the-line rigs? Could this create like a divide in the gaming world?
Whoa, that's a whole other layer I hadn't even considered. I guess we'll have to wait and see how it all shakes out. But hey, while we're on the topic of powerful hardware, get this. Nvidia GeForce Now is coming to VR headsets. Though it looks like it's just for the Ultimate and Performance members. For now. And PC gamers, listen up. There's a potential GPU showdown brewing. AMD's RX 9070 and 9070 XT might launch around the same time as the RTX 5080. Talk about competition.
Competition is good though, right? Especially in the tech world, it usually means better products and, lower prices for us. I'm excited to see how this all unfolds.
Me too. Okay, let's talk gaming on the go for a sec. MSI is cooking up a Ryzen Z2-powered Claw gaming handheld to rival the Steam Deck and ROG Ally. But then there's Acer's 11-inch handheld PC, which some people are saying is way too big to be considered handheld. What do you think? Is there such a thing as a perfect size for a handheld gaming PC? Let us know down in the comments.
It's a tricky balance, right? You want a screen that's big enough to really immerse yourself in the game, but not so big that it's uncomfortable to hold for a long time. It's all about finding that sweet spot.
Totally. And while we wait for those handhelds to drop, Xbox fans have the Xbox Developer Direct to look forward to. They're showcasing a bunch of titles. Doom, The Dark Ages, South of Midnight, Claire, Obscure, Expedition 33, and a mysterious fourth title. Plus, Marvel Rivals is getting some hero balance adjustments, all in the name of a, richer and more diverse gaming experience. Sounds good to me.
It just goes to show that even the biggest games are always changing. Developers are always tweaking and refining to make the best experience for players.
Absolutely. But hey, it's not all about gaming, right? The AI world is exploding with some seriously cool stuff happening. For instance, Google discovers testing out this daily listen feature that basically turns your newsfeed into a podcast. And there are whispers that Google Gemini might be coming to Android Auto. Imagine having like a super smart AI assistant riding shotgun with you.
It's fascinating to see how AI is becoming more and more a part of our everyday lives. From the apps on our phones to the cars we drive. But that actually leads us to something potentially even bigger, the idea of artificial general intelligence, or AGI.
AGI? Like the kind of AI that can do anything a human can do. That's straight out of a sci-fi movie.
It might sound like science fiction, but some experts believe AGI could be closer than we think. And that raises some pretty big questions. What does it mean for our future if machines can think, learn, and problem solve just like humans, or even better?
Whoa. That's a heavy question. And honestly, a little bit scary. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. We've got plenty to unpack right here in the AI world that's already here. There's this growing concern about shadow AI in organizations. Basically, AI systems being used without proper oversight or ethical frameworks, it sounds like a recipe for disaster just waiting to happen.
It's definitely something to be concerned about. Transparency, ethical guidelines, and strong governance are key to making sure AI is developed and used responsibly. We need to be proactive, not reactive.
Absolutely. And speaking of responsible AI development, get this, Samsung is launching an AI club where you can rent a robot,
Right.
like an actual robot to help out around the house or just hang out with. It's wild. Like, also kind of too, right? What do you think about having robots readily available like that? Is it a good thing or a potential nightmare?
It's kind of a double-edged sword. On the one hand, AI robots could be incredibly helpful, providing assistance and companionship. But on the other hand, we have to think about the ethical side of things and the potential risks. What kind of safeguards do we need? Who's responsible if something goes wrong? These are all questions we should be asking now before this technology becomes even more widespread.
It's definitely something to think about. But let's switch gears for a moment and talk about some hardware news. Gigabyte is giving Apple a run for its money with a new mini PC that's supposedly a rival to the Mac Mini. And HP is taking on the iMac with a competitor that can even charge and control a laptop. Talk about multitasking. Plus, Lenovo is flexing its tech muscles with a monitor that's got more ports than an Apple MacBook Pro. Starting to feel a little overwhelmed with all this connectivity.
It's a good kind of overwhelming, though, right? It's amazing to see how fast the hardware world is innovating. And speaking of innovation, did you see what Samsung showed off at CES? An 8K TV with an RGB micro LED backlight. It's supposed to be out this year, and if it lives up to the hype, it's going to be a game changer.
8K. I'm
Yeah.
still trying to wrap my head around 4K.
Yeah.
But what I find really interesting is the trend of special edition e-ink car dashboards. Imagine a minimalist display in your car that just shows you the essential info. No more distractions, just pure driving bliss.
It's a cool contrast to the trend of bigger and more immersive screens in our homes. It's like we're craving both stimulation and simplicity at the same time. It says a lot about our complicated relationship with technology.
Totally. But with all this amazing tech, we can't forget about the flip side, the dark side of the digital world. Cybersecurity. And let me tell you, things are getting pretty wild out there.
Cybersecurity is constantly changing, and the stakes are higher than ever. We're seeing more sophisticated attacks targeting individuals' businesses, even critical infrastructure.
Yeah, like this scary SSLVPN flaw that SonicWall is urging admins to patch ASAP. And get this, researchers have found that DNA sequencers are vulnerable to bootkit attacks. Wait, so even our genetic data isn't safe? It's kind of freaky. And Ivanti is warning about another critical security flaw that's being actively exploited. It feels like we're constantly playing catch-up with these cyber criminals.
It's a constant cat and mouse game, for sure. But the good news is there are things we can do to protect ourselves. Staying informed about the latest threats, putting strong security measures in place, and taking a proactive approach to cybersecurity are all crucial.
So knowledge is our best defense. I like the sound of that. But before we dive deeper into the world of cybersecurity, let's take a quick break. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, give this video a like, and share it with your friends. We'll be right back with more exciting tech news.
Stay tuned. We've got a lot more ground to cover. And we're back, folks, diving deeper into the tech world with more from TechViews 10X.
Yeah, we're back and ready for more. And hey, if you haven't already hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up and share it with your techie friends. You know, the ones who love all this stuff.
All right, so before the break, we were talking about cybersecurity. It's such a crucial topic these days.
For sure. And you know, speaking of reliance, let's talk about something we all rely on a little too much sometimes, our phones. And specifically iPhone storage. If you're tired of seeing that dreaded storage almost full notification, SanDisk and ShiftCam have a solution. They've teamed up to create these tiny, affordable SSDs that can boost your iPhone storage by a massive 2 terabytes. That's like enough space for everything.
It's incredible how far storage technology has come. What used to cost a fortune is now becoming so affordable and accessible. And it's not just our phones either. Data centers are seeing record spending, which shows just how much we need data storage across the board.
Yeah, data centers are booming right now.
Yeah.
But analysts are saying this might not last forever. It makes you wonder what the future holds for data storage and the infrastructure behind it.
It's true. The data center industry is known for its ups and downs. Periods of huge growth are often followed by, consolidation. It'll be interesting to see how this market adapts as cloud computing and AI keep evolving.
Absolutely. Speaking of AI and powerful tech, Nvidia's RTX 5080 laptop GPU is making some serious noise. Benchmarks are suggesting it's going to be a beast. And PC gamers are already getting hyped about the potential of an RTX 5090 mobile.
Imagine the possibilities. The line between desktop and mobile computing is getting blurrier by the day. As mobile components become more powerful and efficient, we can expect even more demanding games and apps on laptops and handhelds.
It's a great time to be a gamer, that's for sure. And speaking of exciting things, remember those mind-bending tri-fold phone concepts Samsung showed off at CES 2025? They look insane. I really hope they make it happen. Can you imagine having a phone that unfolds into a tablet and maybe even a mini laptop?
Foldable technology is still pretty new, but it has so much potential it could totally change how we use our devices.
It really could. But while we're on the topic of futuristic gadgets, let's not forget about the real-world challenges people are facing right now. There was a report recently that highlighted the concerns of procurement workers. They're dealing with rising costs and a lot of workplace challenges.
It's a good reminder that technology doesn't always solve everything. Economic shifts, supply chain problems, and changing work environments can all create obstacles for businesses and their employees.
You're right about that. Okay, so question for you. Are sore muscles after a tough workout an obstacle in your life? Well, good news, Theragens can now sync with your Garmin and Strava accounts to create personalized recovery plans based on your activity. Talk about smart recovery.
That's awesome. It's a great example of how technology can be used for health and wellness. By connecting with fitness trackers and giving you personalized insights, these devices can help you recover better and prevent injuries.
It's like having a personal trainer and a physical therapist all in one right there in your pocket. But hey, not all tech innovations are about being practical and efficient. Remember that crazy over-the-top gaming chair Razer announced? The one that looked like it belonged in a spaceship. Definitely not for everyone, but it was fun to see them pushing the boundaries of design.
Yeah, sometimes it's good to have a little fun and think outside the box. Even if it's not meant for everyone, it sparks creativity.
For sure. And speaking of sparking creativity, there's been a ton of exciting entertainment news this week. The first trailer for Harlem Season 3 dropped, and it looks like we're in for another wild ride full of laughs, drama, and, complicated relationships. And for all you action fans, Prime Video released the trailer for Reacher Season 3. It looks like our unstoppable protagonist is going up against an even bigger bad guy this time.
It's great to see streaming platforms offering such a diverse range of content. From lighthearted comedies to intense thrillers, there's something for everyone. And if you're looking for a more immersive audio experience, Shox just released their new OpenFit 2 headphones.
Oh yeah, those look pretty sweet. Better audio, improved controls, and 11 hours of battery life. What's not to love?
Wireless tech is really freeing, isn't it? It gives us so much more freedom and flexibility, which is probably why wireless headphones and earbuds have become so popular. But hey, not all news is good news. Samsung fans, brace yourselves, because a leaked Galaxy S25 price suggests a potential price hike for those of you in Europe.
Ugh, price hikes are never fun. But on a more positive note, the Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra is rumored to be an even better gaming phone than the S24 Ultra. So there's a silver lining for mobile gamers.
The smartphone market is always changing. Manufacturers are constantly pushing the boundaries of what's possible, which often leads to price changes based on, regional differences, component costs, and things like that.
It's a balancing act, for sure. But hey, that's the tech world, always evolving, always keeping us on our toes. Speaking of keeping us on our toes, it's time to dive back into the world of artificial general intelligence, or AGI. Before the break, we were talking about the possibility of machines that can think and learn just like humans, or maybe even better.
It's a concept that's been around for decades, but now it feels like it's within reach. And that brings up a lot of questions and challenges. How do we make sure AGI is developed and used ethically and responsibly? What impact will it have on society, the economy, our understanding of what it means to be human?
Those are some deep questions. And before we try to tackle them, let's remind everyone to hit that subscribe button, like this video, and share it with your friends. We'll be right back to explore the world of AGI and what it all means.
And we're back for the final stretch of our deep dive into the latest tech news.
That's right. We're going all in on AGI with some awesome insights from TechView's 10X. And as always, if you're enjoying this tech adventure, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, like the video, and share it with your friends. Now, before we took a little break, we were talking about machines that can think and learn like humans, or maybe even better. It's pretty mind-blowing, right? Kind of exciting, but also a little bit scary.
Definitely. It raises a lot of questions about the potential benefits and the risks. Imagine if we could solve problems that have baffled us for centuries or automate dangerous or boring tasks. But then there's the other side. How do we control something that might be smarter than us? How do we make sure it's used for good and not for bad?
Yeah, it's like opening Pandora's box.
Yeah.
And we can't forget about shadow AI, those systems being used without any real oversight or ethical considerations. It feels like for every step forward in AI, there's a shadow lurking right behind.
Absolutely. That's why we need to keep talking about the ethics of AI and set clear guidelines and regulations. We need to make sure transparency and accountability are built into every step of the process. We can't just blindly chase progress without thinking about the consequences.
Couldn't agree more. And that brings us back to Samsung's AI Club, where you can actually rent a robot. I mean, it sounds like science fiction. It's happening right now. Need help around the house? Rent a robot. Want a chess partner? Rent a robot. It's amazing, but also makes you wonder, are we really ready for this?
It's a big question for sure. What are the ethical implications of having AI robots so easily accessible? Will they be helpful or will they create new problems? And who's responsible if something goes wrong? These are tough questions, but we can't just ignore them.
It's a whole new world out there full of possibilities and uncertainties. But hey, it's not just robots and AI that are shaking things up. Did you hear that Chinese software makers can now sell their products through the Microsoft Store? That's a pretty big deal and could change the whole dynamic between those two tech giants.
It will be interesting to see how that unfolds. More competition in the software market is usually good for consumers, but there could be some bigger geopolitical implications too.
Definitely something to keep an eye on. Speaking of competition, the streaming wars are heating up again. Rumor has it that Netflix is trying to get Yellowstone, that super popular show from Paramount Plus, for UK viewers. These streaming companies are always fighting for our attention.
It's all about the content these days. Whoever has the best shows and movies wins. But it's not just entertainment news that's making headlines. The European Commission got slapped with a big fine by the EU court for breaking their own data privacy rules.
Oh, well, the irony. It just goes to show that even the big players aren't above the law, and that data privacy is something we need to keep fighting for.
Absolutely. And speaking of protecting our data, did you hear about the security flaw in DNA sequencers? Apparently, they're vulnerable to bootkit attacks, which means even our genetic information isn't safe from hackers. It's kind of unsettling to think about.
It is a scary thought, and it highlights just how important cybersecurity is. We need to be aware, informed, and proactive about protecting our data. That's why it's so important to stay updated on things like that SSLVPN flaw SonicWall is warning about. And that critical security flaw Ivanti is urging users to patch right away.
Cybersecurity is a constant battle, and it takes all of us working together. Individuals, businesses, governments, we all have a part to play in protecting ourselves from these threats. But knowledge is power. The more we know about the risks, the better prepared we are.
Well said. So there you have it, folks, a whirlwind tour of the tech world. From incredible AI advancements to the ever-present threat of cyber attacks, it's been a wild ride, and we've only just scratched the surface. But that's all the time we have for today. What piece of tech news surprised you the most? Let us know in the comments below, and let's keep the conversation going.
It's been great exploring all these tech trends and innovations with you. And remember, technology is a tool. It's up to us to use it wisely, ethically, and responsibly to create a better future for everyone.
Couldn't have said it better myself. And that's a wrap on another deep dive. Thanks for joining us. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video with your fellow tech enthusiasts. Until next time, stay curious, stay informed, and stay ahead of the tech curve.